Hello students, welcome to Study Life. So today we are going to discuss the topic mathematical methods. Here we are going to talk about scalars and vectors. This is a very important concept students because vector part you are going to learn in mathematics also, right? And this chapter is of course very important board examination point of view as well as entrance point of view. Okay students, so let us talk about this. So before that, be ready with your pen and paper, that is a notebook, so that you can jot down the points, you can make your own smart notes. That will really help you to study while examination time. Okay students, so let us talk about the first thing we are going to talk about, that is the vector analysis. So we are going to talk about scalars. Basically, what is scalars? You have already learned in lower classes that a scalar is nothing but the physical quantity which requires only magnitude. Okay, so this is what the definition you have to learn about. So the physical quantity which can be completely described by magnitude is called scalars. So that definition you have to learn, and of course scalars can be all fundamental quantities which you have learned in physics. That is length, mass, time, temperature, everything comes under scalar quantity. Okay. Then comes the vector part. So vectors are nothing but where we require two things, that is magnitude as well as direction. Okay. So this is the physical quantities which needs magnitude as well as direction for complete description, that we call it as vectors. And of course examples are displacement, velocity, force, everything comes under this particular part, torque, right. Next we are going to talk about types of vectors which will be asked for 2 marks. Okay. So under types of vectors students, first thing is zero vector. Zero vector also we call it as what? Null vector. So null vector here meaning is vector having zero magnitude. Remember, vector having zero magnitude, and whatever direction, in a particular direction we can say. So such vector we called as what? Zero vector. Now let us talk about the second part. Second one is resultant vector. Look at this. Okay. So the resultant word meaning if there are two or more vectors, okay, showing some magnitude and direction, and the resultant will give the same effect. That vector we call it as what? Resultant vector. Now if you want to understand that part, suppose this is the one vector, this is another vector, say P vector and Q vector. Okay. If we are talking about resultant which will give the same effect, this is the resultant vector. Okay. So that type of vector we call it as what is resultant vector. So that is the meaning of this students. Then comes the negative vector. Negative vector we also call it as what? Opposite vector. So here the meaning is magnitude is same but direction is opposite. So remember this particular point, magnitude is same but opposite in direction. Such vector we call it as what? Negative vector. You can see this particular diagram. Okay. Then comes the equal vector. Now equal vector, as the name suggests, two vectors having equal magnitude, equal direction. What do you mean by equal magnitude? Meaning same magnitude, same direction. So this is the equal vector, right? A and B vector are equal vector. Then comes the position vector. Now in this case, position vector, word itself suggests that that gives the position of a particular vector. Now as you can see here, suppose this is a particle. Okay, if I want to know the position of this, that has to be with respect to coordinates, x axis and y axis. So this r vector gives a position. Okay. So position vector we can write it in a particular format. For P, magnitude along x axis is Px, magnitude along y axis is Py. Okay. And unit vector along x axis is I, unit vector along y axis is represented as J, and along k axis is represented as K. Remember this much. Okay. Then anyway I am going to show you how to write a position vector. Next one is unit vector. Here as the name suggests, the vector having unit magnitude, that means having magnitude 1, we call it as unit vector. Okay, in a particular direction. So remember unit magnitude, remember this particular part. And also we term it as non-zero vector. Sometimes the question can be asked, explain non-zero vector. meaning unit vector. Okay, so this is all about types of vector, students. We have learned about it. Now we are going to study about addition and subtraction. Okay, that is vector operation we are going to talk about. So as I told you, to study the vector operation, here it is given as two things are there. One is multiplication, okay, of a vector by a scalar, and the second one we are going to talk about, that is addition and subtraction. Now as you can see here, suppose p vector is multiplied by scalar. This is how it is represented. Okay, so you just, in short, you can remember like this. That means if a vector is multiplied by vector, we get a scalar. Okay, this is a shortcut to remember this. If scalar is multiplied by scalar, we get what? Scalar. If scalar is multiplied by vector, then we get always vector. Okay, this is a formula where you can remember. These are the tricks where you can differentiate between scalar quantity and vector quantity. That way also you can remember. Okay, students. So the important part here is, which you have to learn for the exam point of view, is triangle law of vector addition. There are two vector addition which is mentioned here. One is triangle law and parallelogram law of vectors, right? So let us talk about triangle law of vector addition. Here, as the word suggests, triangle, we are going to form a triangle. Okay. Now let us talk about this particular part. So here it is considered. Say there are two vectors which is considered here. Okay, and we have to put it in a triangle form. This is how it is given here. So that means what is important is, suppose one vector, say A vector, is in this direction. There is another vector, say B vector. Then these A vector and B vector, these two are what? Two adjacent sides of triangle, right? Then the resultant will be the third side. Resultant will be the third side, this particular part, which is mentioned as what? C vector. Okay, so this is what the C vector will be, what? Resultant vector. One more very important point, so how we write the addition formula here, that is A vector plus B vector is equal to C vector. A vector plus B vector is equal to C vector. Remember, A vector and B vector, they are going like this part. Okay, in a same order, you have to take it that way. Okay, they are going in a same order. That is very, very important. Remember, students, this part we call it as tail, and arrow part we mention as what? Head. Okay, so tail, head, it should be in that particular order. Now just to make it more clear, I'll just show you like this. Suppose this is the triangle part which is given here. Say P, Q, R. This is what the triangle law I have drawn. What would be the formula here? So remember, it should go in a same order, right? That means we can say that P vector plus Q vector, tail, head is equal to R vector. This is how the formula we can mention here. So this is all about triangle law, students, and you have to learn the definition statement of triangle law. For that you can remember this particular part. If two vectors having same physical quantity are represented in magnitude and direction by two sides of a triangle taken in the order, and the resultant will be represented by magnitude and direction by the third side of the triangle. So remember this statement and that particular diagram, that will give you a triangle law of vector addition complete marks, right? Let us learn few more concepts about, that is the commutative vector addition. Now commutative vector addition meaning, suppose two vectors are given, okay, if you add it, you can just write it in the opposite direction also. For vector addition, that doesn't change the direction, okay. So P plus Q can also be written as Q plus P. That is what the vector commutative part we can remember. Then comes the associative vector addition. Associative vector addition, suppose there are three vectors, that is A plus B plus C. We can also represent that as A plus B plus C. So that is the associative law. Okay. So after understanding the commutative and associative, here we are going to solve an example. Okay. That is very interesting one. As you can see the diagram here, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 vectors are given, and if we have to solve this, how can we do that? Using triangle law we can solve this particular question. How can we do that, students? We can draw one resultant vector in this manner. Okay. Now as you can see, this resultant will be what? A1 vector plus A2 vector, right? That will be OB vector, right? Again the same thing, I can join this particular line, right? This will give you the resultant again, because OB vector we can just write it like this, OB vector is equal plus, we can say right here plus, so OB vector plus BC vector is equal to OC vector, right? This is the triangle law, students, which we are applying here. So of course automatically you are getting here what? A1 plus A2 plus A3, right? This is all vector. Vector can be shown by bar also and arrow also, remember. Then finally comes, the final answer will be what? We can write it as OC vector plus CD vector is equal to OD vector, right? This is what the formula we can use here, right, students? So this what is the final solution we are getting. That means I can say that A5 vector, that is OD vector, will be A1 plus A2 plus A3, which is OC, and plus A4, which is CD. This is all vectors. So this is the resultant using triangle law we have calculated, right, students? So here we have applied all triangle law of vectors. This is what the answer you will be getting here, okay, right? Now after triangle law, as I mentioned, this is a very important one, that is the law of parallelogram of vectors. Now here we are going to form a parallelogram. Now look at this particular diagram, this shows the parallelogram, right? Here the important one is, there is one vector, say P vector, there is another vector Q vector, both are what? Adjacent sides of parallelogram having one angle theta. Then the resultant, this will give the resultant vector, right? And when you join this particular part, that is BC and AC, when you join, you are getting what? Parallelogram, right? So that is what is statement you have to mention here. This particular statement you have to remember, students. That is, if two vectors of the same type originating from the same point represented in magnitude and direction, because whenever you talk about vector, you have to mention that represented by magnitude and direction, okay? And then the resultant vector is also represented in magnitude and direction, will be the diagonal of parallelogram. For triangle, it is the third side of the triangle, and for parallelogram, resultant will be diagonal of parallelogram starting from the same point. So this statement you have to write, okay, for 1 mark, and of course this diagram will explain the complete statement of law of parallelogram of vectors. Then based on this, there is question asked. There is a derivation, students, which of course you have to prepare for that. So for parallelogram of vector addition, we have to find the derivation, that is magnitude and direction of R. That is the question which is asked. Okay, for this to derive, I have drawn diagram over here. We will just understand that, which was already drawn there. That is OA vector, OB vector having angle theta, students, and OC vector is the resultant vector. So what is done here is CD is drawn perpendicular to OA, as you can see in this particular diagram, right? And what is this alpha gives? Alpha gives the direction of R vector, right? Alpha gives the direction of R vector, right, students? So understand this much. And OA vector is named as P vector, OB vector is named as Q vector. Now to understand this, what are we going to do to get the magnitude and direction of R vector? We have to find out. So for this we are going to take the right angle triangle. As you can see, this is the right angle triangle, that is ODC. Now look at this is the derivation here. See, right angle triangle is considered here, triangle ODC. If you apply the Pythagoras theorem, OC square is equal to OD square plus CDC square. You can just substitute, because OD can be written as OA plus AD. As you can see here, OA plus AD will give you what? OD, right? Then comes the substituting the value, students. We are going to get this particular part, and Just open the bracket, so you are going to get what? OA square plus 2A, OA AD plus AD square and plus DC square. But what about this particular part? If I talk about AD square plus DC square, you can just see in this particular diagram, that is right angle, small one, ADC. Here also we can use the Pythagoras theorem and that we can apply that, and of course see this is Q vector, so this also will be Q vector, that is a Q value, okay. So students, it is substituted here, so you are going to get the values here, right. So this is AC vector, as from the diagram we can get it, which is AC is nothing but what? Q, but only point is we have to find out AD value, okay. AD we can get it again from the small triangle, as you can see here, triangle ADC. In this particular triangle, if I am using cos theta is nothing but what? Adjacent upon hypotenuse. Adjacent is what? AD and hypo is AC. So I am getting here AD as AC value is Q, that is Q cos theta. This is what the formula I got AD from here, this particular diagram. Okay, so that only is substituted, students, and finally we are going to get this R magnitude as root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta, right? And then this is about the magnitude of resultant vector. Remember, this much if you write, you are going to get 3 marks, but extra marks you will get only after getting the result direction of it, okay. Direction of resultant vector you have to calculate. For direction, as I told you, alpha gives a direction, so alpha part we are going to get it, and for direction remember it should be tan, okay. So tan alpha is opposite upon adjacent, that is CD upon OD, okay, CD upon OD. And CD of course, but OD is nothing but what? OA plus AD, so we have just substituted here, and sin theta we have got, so DC value we got it as what? AC sin theta, that is Q sin theta. So after substituting the value, students, tan alpha we have got this particular part, and alpha, that is the direction of resultant vector, is given as tan inverse of Q sin theta upon P plus Q cos theta. This is what the formula you should derive for 4 marks, which is very important one, okay. Then after this comes the next part of it, that is resolution of vector. This is also very important concept, which I was explaining earlier for writing position vector. The same thing, resolution of vector, we are going to write it here. Resolution of vector is nothing but what? Actually we can also name it as rectangular part of it. Rectangular resolution of vector, we also call it as what? Rectangular component of 2 dimensions. Now just look into this particular part, okay. So C part here, this is x axis, y axis, and C we have found what? Perpendicular to this, we have written CA and CB perpendicular, but OC is nothing but what? R vector, which is resolved into 2 components here, that is Rx and Ry, okay. That is a component of it. So that part we have to write it, and I mentioned that here it is written this way, right? R vector is equal to Rx plus Ry. As I told you earlier also, IJK we represent. I is represented as unit vector along x axis. J is represented at unit vector along y axis, and K is represented as unit vector along z axis, like this. So remember, IJK, never forget that, okay. So that part only is mentioned here, as you can see this particular part. R vector can be represented as Rxi plus Ryj. If it is K is there, that is 3-dimensional figure is there, it will be Rzk, okay. This is how it is resolved into 2 components, okay students. So here again the same part, that is triangle, if you use right angle triangle, cos theta we are getting, so Rx value as R cos theta, Ry value as R sin theta. From resolution of vector you are going to get, and finally answer for this magnitude of any resultant vector, we get it as what? Root of Rx square plus Ry square. If the third axis is there, it will be Rz square, okay. So based on that, there are so many numericals, which is all very important. We can solve based on that particular part, okay. Then after that, this is all numerical, students. Anyways, once you learn the theory, it will be easy for you to solve numericals. Okay. Now let us talk about now multiplication of a vector. Now for multiplication of a vector, students, there are two types of multiplication. One is scalar product, which is also termed as dot product, and the second one is vector product, which is termed as cross product. These are the two products we have to learn. Okay. Then let us talk about here scalar product. Scalar product, of course, students, if there are scalar product is the dot product of two vectors which is represented as P dot Q is equal to PQ cos theta. Remember, for dot product cos comes, okay, and question can be asked for characteristics of scalar product. So for characteristics, students, this is the first characteristics you can write, that is P dot Q is equal to PQ cos theta. Okay, that also can be represented like this, and Q cos theta is nothing but what? Component of Q in the direction of P. Okay. Then the second point is given that the scalar product obeys commutative law. Commutative law meaning P dot Q can be written as Q dot P. This is called as commutative law. Earlier we have studied about addition. Here we are going to talk about multiplication. Okay. Then after this, the third point is this one. Make a note of it. Here we are going to talk about distributive law. Distributive law meaning P dot Q plus R can be written as, you have to just open that, P dot Q plus P dot R. This is distributive law. Okay. Then there are special cases, students. Suppose if theta is 0, so cos 0 is 1. So P dot Q can be written as PQ. P and Q, remember there is no vector sign, arrow is not there, that means it is magnitude. Remember this part. Okay. So similarly, I dot I will be what? I is a unit vector, of course J is also unit vector, K is also unit vector. If the same unit vectors are multiplied, you are going to get 1. Unit vector meaning value is 1. Okay. Remember this formula, I dot I, J dot J, K dot K, value will be 1. So that is the next point. Then after that comes the next point is, suppose theta is 180, cos 180 is minus 1. So P dot Q you are getting what? Minus PQ. Okay. And here if different unit vectors are multiplied, IJ, that means here the angle is 90. So you are going to get what? 0. So the dot product of same unit vector is 1. Dot product of different unit vectors is 0. Remember this way. Okay. Then after this, see, this is how the vector is represented, P vector, Q vector, right. If both the vectors are multiplied, students, we are going to get, this is very important formula you have to remember, that is P dot Q is equal to Px Qx plus Py Qy plus Pz Qz. How to get this? This is all the proof which is given here. This is all nothing but multiplication which is shown here, right. P vector and Q vector, you have to multiply, you are going to get this particular part. You can just try once. Okay. Then after this, next part is vector product. So those were the characteristics of scalar product. Now we are going to talk about vector product. Vector product, what is another name of it? Cross product. Okay. Here the rules are different. See, scalar product, that is a dot product, we got what? PQ cos theta. For vector product, the formula is PQ sin theta. That is what we are going to write here. So let us talk about that particular part. So what you have to note it down, students. First, vector product, I told you what was the basic formula for this. P vector cross Q vector is given as PQ sin theta, because for dot it was cos, for cross it is sin. That is the first point. Then comes the commutative law. It does not obey commutative law, meaning I cannot say that P cross Q can also be written as Q cross P. No, it is not. Okay, so it is not equal. Then the second point characteristics is obeys distributive law, meaning we can see here, that is, substitute the value here, that is A cross B plus C can be written as A cross B plus A cross C. This is the distributive law, students, right? And of course, special characteristics, if theta is 0, sin 0 is 0, that means I can say that P cross Q is equal to 0. If 180, then sin 180 is also 0. So, again we can say that P cross Q is 0, right? Okay, and if it is 90, that is perpendicular, then P cross Q is equal to PQ. Remember this particular part. Similarly, for unit vector I cross J, J cross K, K cross I. How to remember this? We can make a circle of it. Say we can write this as I, J and K. So, here we can go in a say anti-clockwise direction. If I say I cross J, it will be equal to what? K. K cross I, okay, will be equal to J. So, this is what the formula is. K cross I will be is equal to J. Okay, this way we can remember. If you go out, other side, that is clockwise, it will be other way. I can say that J cross I, okay, J cross I, you are going in opposite direction, it will be minus K, okay. So, that is the formula, and same unit vector cross product will be 0, okay. Then after that, as I told you, same unit vector cross product will be 0, remember that particular part. So, for P cross Q, there is an important way to solve it, that is in the form of IJK, PX, PY, PZ, because P is the first term, then QX, QY, QZ. This is the determinant part, you know how to open this. In mathematics you must have learned, otherwise also we can just show you how to expand this particular part. So, remember students, P cross Q is equal to, make a pattern of it, that is I vector, unit vector, bracket in between minus sign, minus J, bracket in between minus sign, plus K, bracket in between minus sign. This way pattern you just write it down, and then particular part what you can do is you can just fill it up, okay. What to fill it up? If it is I, okay, what are you going to do? You are going to close this I part and this part you are going to cross it, okay. That means I am going to get here PY QZ, cross multiplication, okay, and PZ QY. For J, what are we going to do? For J, we will close J part and the other one we are going to put it cross, okay. So, other one we are going to put it cross here, students. So, like this part. So, what are we going to get here? PX QZ, okay, and PZ QX. I hope you are understanding this part. And K के लिए what? Same thing. K को close करो and just cross multiply. So, you are going to get what? PX QY, right, and PY QX. This is the expansion of vector product. So, this way we can solve number of problems which is very easily we can solve it. As you can see here, this is what the expansion is, okay students. So, remember this particular part. Then after this theory part is complete, and what you have to remember is that is the formulae for integration and differential equation. So, what you have to learn, because this is important, because later for calculation we are going to use everything. Here you can see that this is all differential equation part, that is d by dx, we mention it as differential equation. So, our theory part is complete students. Here extra part is given, that is the formulae for derivatives formulae, all we are going to use here. So, 9 formulas are given, we have to just remember this, but later you will understand that how we are going to apply this particular part, and this derivatives, that is differentiation, is there in mathematics also. So, there you are going to learn in detail about it, okay. So, this is only the formula part which you have to learn, that is all, and then comes the all theory part, okay. So, I hope students you have understood. This is what the integration part is given, this also formula will be applicable here, okay. So, this is all about chapters where we have talked about scalars and vectors, and then comes the all numerical questions, okay. So this is what based on numerical questions we are going to solve here, that is exercise part. Okay students, so I hope you have understood the concept of vector analysis and what all things you have to study. Okay, thank you.